Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jill, also known as Jilly Bean by some of my friends and family, which now includes you. Gotta clip the hair back first so we don't get anything in our hair. Alright, so I'm going to use two primers today. The first one is going to be this e.l.f. Illuminating Face Primer. I have never used this before. It is radiant and glowy, so I still want some pore fillage here. So I'm going to go with the Luminous Putty Primer in this area, in the T-zone, and then I'm going to do this one everywhere else. Alright, now let's open up the new bad boy. Gotta peel it here. Having trouble getting the packaging open. Almost there. I'm just going to pour some or squeeze some in my hand. I don't know if that was too much, but we'll see. Ooh, this is very smooth. It actually feels super similar to the Putty Primer. It actually kind of feels like it would be or could be pore filling as well, just because it's so similar in texture. Now that it's on my face, I'm definitely seeing a sheen. Like over here, it almost looks like I'm wearing highlighter. There is like a small glitter particle in this primer. So if you look really close, I do have glitter on my face. That doesn't bother me right now. I'm gonna put on foundation and then we'll see how it looks on top of it. But I definitely see the illumination because there's like just straight up goldish glitter on my face. But let's get into foundation. So I don't have a new foundation, but what I want to try is this Physicians Formula. I can't believe I just said that without messing up. The Physicians Formula Shade Adjuster. This is very intriguing to me because my skin tone changes so often just because I get very, very tan in the summer. Like, not on purpose, I wear a lot of SPF, but my skin just tans really easily. I don't want to be buying multiple foundations and then only using them for a couple months per year. I want to use one foundation that I really like the entire year. I think what we're going to do is use the darker color and just mix it into some of my Maybelline. I feel like it's just a little bit too light for me right now. So let me put some on my face and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think it just needs a smidge of darkening up. So I'm gonna put in a little bit of the darker color, a very, very small amount. I don't think that I need like a drastic change or anything in the color. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand. It's an interesting little tube here. What am I not doing right? Do I have to break this open or something? Let me read the directions. Okay, shake before you use. I don't think that's what's keeping it from coming out, but let's see. Oh no, okay. I just squirted way too much out. You apparently needed to squeeze like pretty hard to get it to come out, and then it all just came out at once, but that's definitely way too much. So I don't know what to do here. I might use this actually as bronzer. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm certainly gonna try it. All right, so I'm gonna take a dab of the darker shade and mix it in. Not sure that did anything. Let's get a little bit more. Okay, there we go. As far as on the back of my hand, it is still, I mean, don't pay attention to that dripping right now, but it is still lighter than my hand. So I'm gonna take just a little bit more and mix it in. Let's put it on the face. It still seems a little bit too light, so let's take more. So maybe I didn't use too much at the beginning, or this just isn't doing anything. We'll see and see what I think. On the back of my hand, it definitely got darker. It has an interesting scent to it. And by interesting, I don't mean good, interesting. Maybe it did add a little bit of darkness. It's a weird one. Let's get the flashlight involved here, shall we? Whoa. When I go like this, you can definitely see the dew from the primer. Wasn't expecting that. Holy moly. Obviously, now that I'm using a flashlight, you can really see the glitter from the primer. Whoa, I look like Edward. It's like diamonds. I actually think that this side matches pretty well with this side now. I'm gonna put some more Physicians Formula on the back of my hand and do the other side of my face now. See, you have to squeeze it really hard for it to come out, and then like too much comes out. but I think this actually maybe could be a good bronzer, so I'm gonna try that after. I don't have a new bronzer, so I think that works out pretty well. Got the mixing medium and the foundation on the back of my hand like it says, and apply. Now that I went in with a lot, I can definitely see this side is definitely darker. I think it's a little bit of a trial and error process. Like, you have to figure out, you know, how much you actually have to mix with your foundation. I also don't like this foundation with a brush. I usually like to put it on with a sponge, but because I'm doing the mixing medium, I feel like I have to use a brush just to get it mixed well. So afterwards, I'm gonna go over it with a sponge, but that is a downside of the mixing drops. I'm also looking pretty textured, and it's not because of the foundation, and it's not because of the Putty primer, because I've used those before. So it's either the Illuminating face primer or the mixing drops. I'm not totally sure, but I'm gonna go ahead and pat this all in with a sponge because it looks pretty streaky right now. I would say the mixing drops added a little bit of a tint to the foundation, and I'm looking really dewy. I really think it's because of the e.l.f. Illuminating face primer. Like, I can see glitter kind of coming through the foundation. It looks pretty, but it is emphasizing my texture. It helped when I patted everything in with my sponge. Like, my forehead is looking more textured than usual. And my pores don't look horrible. It just looks more textured than usual, especially like over here as well. So next, I'm just gonna put on some concealer. I don't have anything new. I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. color corrector. I've used this once before, so it's not like I've tested this a lot or anything, but I do have a video about it. If you're interested, I can link it down below. All right, next up, some e.l.f. concealer. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I've used this on my channel all the time. It's one of my favorite concealers. It's a lot of people's favorite concealers. The only thing I don't like about it is this wand is very thick, and it's hard not to get a ton of product on your face. I mean, I do need a lot of product because my under eyes are so dark, but it'd be nice to have a little bit more control. As I mentioned before, I don't have a new bronzer, but I'm gonna try these drops and see if they work as a bronzer. Oh. Okay, did you see it just like kind of exploded everywhere because you have to press pretty hard, and it's a little weird and chunky on my face, but I think this is good to actually just see what the product is like and how it blends on its own. Okay, it's lightweight, it's blending into the skin pretty well. Yeah, I would say it has a little bit of a grayish tone, which is interesting. And it definitely bronzed a little bit. I don't think I really like it for that though. It's a little bit messy. The tone is not really what I prefer. I'm gonna put on some e.l.f. Putty bronzer. This is, I don't know what this shade is. Let's see, Honey Drip, and this is like the best. It's so easy to blend in. It looks really good. As far as like a budget option, this one is really nice. And the tone is much better. The drops are a little gray for my liking. Yeah, some people use this with a brush, but I just go in with my finger because then I can really place it exactly where I want. There, you can see 1, 2, 3, blend it out so easily. Okay, so I definitely don't suggest using the drops as your bronzer. It kind of is a little patchy over here and like stuck to some places. Also, the tone is just not really a bronzer tone. To me, it looks more gray. I definitely like the Putty bronzer better, but you know, trying new things, it's all good. I don't have any new powder. I do want to go ahead and just set my face really quickly because I have a new powder blush to try and I want it to blend on top easily. But I think that this will be good to see the pores and everything after I use a setting powder. Yeah, it just doesn't look right over there with the bronzer, that's not bronzer that I made into a bronzer. I put powder on and I'm still seeing glitter come through the foundation on my face. I really don't mind it. Like, I don't mind seeing the glitter particles. It's kind of cool. But I'm just warning you that if you use this e.l.f. primer, it is glittery. It's not like a sheen, it's just straight up glitter. Also, I put on setting powder and that didn't actually help the pore situation at all. I think it might have even made it look worse. I'm gonna go in with some powder bronzer because putting the powder all over my face just made me a little bit pale, which is totally fine. It just like didn't really help the situation and made me less bronzed than I wanted to be. So just using some physician's formula. This is not new to me or probably to anyone at this point. I got some things from BH Cosmetics. I have tried BH Cosmetics before, not a ton of stuff, but I've tried some of their lip products. I got some eyeliners. For some reason, I have seemed to have lost all of my eyeliners, so definitely need more. So we're gonna be using those today. And I got a blush palette. BH Cosmetics Essential Blush. It's actually really big. The outside does have some like crap on it, so that's not my favorite thing, but it is what it is. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Ooh, this is really pretty. All right, so this is what she looks like. And the reason I got this is because a lot of the blush shades I've been getting recently all look like a baby doll pink, which is very pretty, but I want to have different options, and I usually like a deeper blush. So I figured it'd be good to get something like this because I can mix and match what I want, and if something's a little bit too light or too deep, I can just change it. Also, this has both shimmer blushes and matte blushes. It is a really nice palette though, I have to say. I'm very impressed. It's nice and weighty. Really, like, the outside packaging was a little messed up. I don't know if you can see that, but the inside looks great, and it was covered in plastic, so I'm not worried that it was used or anything. I'm gonna go in with this shade. Do they have shades on the back? No, they don't have shade names, so I'm just gonna be using this one. Okay, they're pretty powdery. Something to, ooh. Okay, that was obviously way too much. I'm not used to my blushes being that pigmented, but that's okay. I'm gonna use the other side of the brush and just try to blend it out. I might need to get my beauty blender involved here. My bad. I mean, I do like a lot of blush, but that might be a little bit too much blush. I'm gonna go in with another brush, and I'm gonna just do the color right next to it and add a little bit more. Gonna tap off the excess. I'm gonna focus it more back here because I accidentally just put a huge blotch right there on my face. I didn't realize it was so pigmented. Okay, I think the blushes are really pretty. I think you could even use maybe one of these as a highlight. Shimmery shades, maybe like a blush topper highlight situation. Let's go in and do that. Just putting it on the high point of my cheek over here. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's shimmery. It is really emphasizing my texture. I just have a lot of texture right there because of my eczema. But yeah, that's definitely glittery. I'm actually gonna use that as highlight for the rest of my face as well. So I'm gonna go down the nose. I'm literally like a sunbeam right now. I'm so glittery between this palette and the primer. Whew. And I'm just gonna put some over here. This also could be really pretty eyeshadows as well. I do have new eyeshadows, so I'm not going to do a whole look using these as eyeshadows, but there's a lot of colors in here. You could definitely make an eyeshadow look. I like this. I'm definitely gonna have to play around with it more. Maybe I'll do a video where I use this as an eyeshadow palette. Let me know down below. I barely put any on too. I like barely dip my brush in, and look how highlighty that is. But I have some eyeshadow palettes, so let's get into these. So I actually bought the bundle from ColourPop. They were having a 25% off sale, and then I believe there was a little bit of a discount if you got the bundle for 3 eyeshadow palettes. So I bought all 3. Did I need them? No. Could I resist? Also no. Cool. There we go. Nice and bubble wrapped. And I also got a lip oil, which we will be trying. This is really cute packaging. This is the Disney Tinkerbell ColourPop Glossy Lip Stain. I'm not really into like the Disney characters and stuff like that and all the collabs, but I got it because I liked the actual color, and there was another color I wanted more. It was more of like a nude. It was sold out, so I just got this. But let's go through all the palettes. I got the Wild Child palette. I got the That's Taupe palette, and this one, people rave about this like all over the internet. I was either gonna go with the Bare Necessities or this one, and then I was like, I really want the Taupe one, but I also want some necessities like everyday, just flattering eyeshadows that could work on a daily basis. So I was like, all right, I'll just get the whole bundle, I guess. And Going Coconuts. So people have also raved about this online as well. So I'm gonna open all of these. I'm not gonna do swatches because these have been out for a while. I'm sure everyone's seen swatches already. Here's the first one. This is Wild Child. Very pretty. I like that it's plastic too. It's not like a cardboard packaging. That's Taupe, which everyone has seen before, I'm sure. This one is the cardboard packaging. There's no mirror inside, and this is what the inside looks like. I don't know, the top just looks like it's been scratched or something. It's hard to see on camera, but there's just like little ridges or something in the eyeshadow. Interesting to note. And the last one is Going Coconuts. This one is more of like the everyday one, I think. And this one is plastic as well, which is nice. I think I might go with Going Coconuts today. Again, they don't look used or anything. It's just, there's like fallout in the palettes and they're not smooth across the top, which is interesting to note. I don't know. Let's start with Going Coconuts. Going into Lovely Bunch. Very powdery. Blend it, blend it, blend it. Going to go in with a smaller brush now and just deepen up the outer corner. I'm gonna go in with Nutty and then really placing this where I want it to be placed. Now that that shade, Nutty, is placed where I want it, I'm just gonna take my blender brush that I used for that first transition shade and blend it out. One of the main things I do when I'm using new shadow to tell if it's good or not is I have a very difficult eyelid right over here. A lot of eyeshadows can look very patchy if they're not like very smooth mattes. I think I just have like, you know, a little bit of like extra skin over here, as we do sometimes, some people, you know. So that's really one of the ways I can tell if an eyeshadow is good or not, is if it blends in this area of my eye without getting patchy. So far, so good. They are powdery. They have some kick up for sure, but I'm not getting any fallout so far and I think it looks good. Let's see, what do I want to do next? I'm gonna go into Culotta just because it looks like a nice shade and I want to use more. So I'm gonna go in with this smaller brush and really just focus this kind of in the middle crease area. And that was really just to define the crease a little bit more. All right, now I'm gonna go in with this flat brush and I'm gonna go into Shredded and I'm gonna go on the inner portion of my eye. And I really want this like inner portion of my eye to be very bright, so I went in with a lot of the shredded color. I'm gonna use Get Crackin' and just put it on the outer part of my eye. Just a little bit, because I wanna really test out a lot of the shades. All right, I'm going to take like a flat liner brush and I'm gonna go into Shell Yeah. I'm gonna go along the lower lash line. I'm going to take Nutty and I'm gonna put that on like the outer fourth of my eye, under eye. All right, I think that looks good. I'm just gonna go in now with a little bit of a bigger brush and I'm gonna take Brunch, what's that say? Lovely Bunch. And I'm just gonna blend that lower lash line all together. From BH Cosmetics, I have these power pencils. I have a black, a white, and then more of a glitter. Oh, my camera is not focusing. So I'm gonna use the black in the top waterline. I'm gonna use the Shimmer Pearl in the inner corner and a little bit on the lower lash line. And then I'm gonna use the white in my waterline on the bottom. So let's start with black. All right, this is what she looks like. Nice packaging with the little gold on top. I like that. I'm just gonna go line the upper inner waterline of my eye, if that makes sense. So the waterline of my top lid. And I like to try out eyeliners that are really gonna stay put because my eyes water a lot. They're very sensitive. So let's test it out. So definitely added some definition. We'll have to see at the end of this video if it bled all over my face or not. But let's go in on the other side. So it is bleeding down to my lower lash line. So I'm definitely gonna have to clean that up before it sets in. Time will have to tell if this bleeds or not, but let's finish up the rest of my makeup and we'll come back. But let's do the white one next. I love putting white eyeliner in my waterline. It just makes my eyes look so much brighter, and I really like how big it makes my eyes look. This packaging is not the easiest to get off. You know it's real when you have to get the nail tools involved. Let's go in on the lower lash line. Or the lower waterline, I should say. Whoa, okay. I was not expecting that pigment. This is really, really white. Okay. It's almost like too much. I was not expecting that. Oh boy. And the tip just broke off also. Because usually it's either really pigmented and it lasts for like 10 minutes, or it's not super pigmented but it'll last all day. So I want to find the best of both worlds. Let me just clean this up a little bit. Let's go to our last power pencil, and this is like a shimmery purple. As I said before, this packaging is not the easiest to get off. But I'm going to use this in the inner corner and then just a little bit to the lower lash line area. Oh, okay. It just completely fell off in my hand. It is pretty on the back of my hand. It's very creamy, but I didn't press very hard and just completely fell off as I was applying it. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Okay. I don't think that the shimmer ones are the way to go. I like the white one for sure. We'll have to see how long it lasts for. The black I'm not totally sure about just because it is bleeding. And then the shimmer one I do not like at all. It's definitely not like an inner corner highlight. First of all, it broke immediately. It didn't sharpen very easily. And it's super creamy to the point where like it won't stick anywhere. That's what the swatch looks on the back of my hand. I don't know if you can see it. But I just went like this with the tissue and it completely came off my hand. There's like no staying power at all right there. I'm gonna go in with one of the shades in the palette to do the inner corner because that's not doing it for me. So I'm gonna take just this little tiny brush, spray it with some setting spray. I just sprayed this brush with a little bit of setting spray, and I'm going to go into Palm Reader, which is the white shade in this palette. It's very chunky. This shade's a little chunky. I'm going to go in with a different brush just to see if it'll smooth out a little bit. Okay, that definitely, yeah, that helped. I think that the brush I was going in with was just too small. Okay, that's an inner corner highlight if I've ever seen one. I'm gonna blend this out a little bit because I feel like I look like a White Walker. And I'm gonna put some on the brow bone. Ooh, look at that, see? It is a little chunky, but if you use the right brush and you blend it out, it can be nice. Yeah, so for that shade, I actually don't think that you need any setting spray. It's nice on its own. All right, I'm just gonna go in with mascara. I'll be back for lips. All right, just put on some mascara, and I don't know why I'm going like this, but I think that the eyeshadow looks really nice. I think that the white eyeliner looks really nice and definitely better now that I put some mascara on. It's a little more subdued. It hasn't rubbed off so far, so I'm really impressed with that. The eyelash, the upper waterline, okay, the black one, the black eyeliner on the top is looking good. It's not bleeding down anymore. It was just on the initial usage, but I stick with what I say. I do not like the purple one. But the last thing we're gonna do is use this lip oil from ColourPop. Packaging is cute and glittery. I think it's called Clap If You Believe. I'm just gonna put it on my lips. This is not a new product in the world. It's just new for me. Ooh, very shiny. It's much more pigmented than I was expecting, but it's super lightweight. And the applicator is nice. It feels very spongy. Okay, I think that lip color is gorgeous. It doesn't even feel like I have anything on my lips right now. It's really, really, really shiny. Like, look at my lips. Gorgeous. This, upon first use, I think this might be the best lip product I have ever used. Obviously I have to see how it wears and everything, but it's just so pretty and shiny right now. Very impressed. All right, that's my makeup for today. Put my hair down and let's just do a quick recap of everything that was new. So first up we have the e.l.f. primer. Yeah, it's definitely glittery. You can see a lot of glitter on my face coming through the foundation. It's a look. I don't hate it. I don't feel like it's good for right now or like going into winter. I feel like it's more of like a summer primer, like glowy and dewy. I also think if you're going to use this, you should not use a powder on top because it kind of takes away like the wet dewy look but leaves the glitter. So if you're going to use this, don't use a powder on top. That's what I think at least. We have the foundation drops. This does pull a little bit gray. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I do think that it darkened my foundation, which is what I was going for. Definitely don't use it as a bronzer. I can definitely say that. It still looks patchy over here, and probably what I don't like the most about my makeup today is that it just looks a little patchy where I tried to use this as bronzer. It's not supposed to be bronzer, so that's kind of my fault. This is like a take it or leave it product. The Essential Blush Palette from BH Cosmetics. I love this. I'm gonna do another video where I do my eyeshadow with this and my blush and my highlight. So I really get like a full usage out of it. Let me know if you want me to do swatches of this in that video, but this is really gorgeous. It's nice and pigmented. You get a lot of different options, shimmery, matte, you know, kind of like anything you need, and then it looks very natural on the skin. I really, really like this palette. And while we're on BH Cosmetics, let's get to the eyeliners. They're like all over my desk here. Out of the three, the shimmery one, no. Really don't like it. The black and the white, I'm still gonna have to do some testing, but the white is holding up in the waterline well so far. It's super pigmented. The black did bleed down a little bit, but now that it's like set, it's not bleeding at all. So I'm gonna have to do like a longer test with these, but so far so good. I do like these. Going Coconuts, which I used today, and then I also got That's Taupe and Wild Child, which I will be using at a separate time. Really pretty. The packaging did come in a little dusty and the shadows were a little bit like, I don't know, like nicked a little bit. But in general, I think this is a beautiful, beautiful palette. I think that my eyeshadow came out really, really nice today. It's not the same quality, obviously, as like Pat McGrath or Natasha Denona. It's not gonna be that creamy, but I think when you use these, just make sure you're tapping off the excess before you go in on your actual eye and you won't have fallout or anything. Like, I don't have any fallout on my face. They were easy to blend. I don't have any of that patchiness like over here where I sometimes can with more affordable shadows. I think that as far as affordable shadows go, these are really, really nice. You just have to be aware that you're gonna get some kick up. Just tap off your brush and you will be fine, and they're pigmented and nice, and I really like them. What else? Okay, we also had the ColourPop lip stain. This is the Tinkerbell one in Clap If You Believe. The packaging is super cute. Again, I'm like not really into the whole like cartoony type things. But this is gorgeous on my lips. It feels really, really lightweight. It was really nice and easy to apply. It feels comfortable on the lips. It's kind of drying down, but it's staying like a glossy finish. It's not as glossy as when I first put it on. When I first put it on, I was like, oh my God, super glossy, super gorgeous. But it is keeping some of that glossiness, and I really like the color. This is like an A+. A++ for me, and I would definitely order more shades in the future. You don't even need a lip liner with this. I think that the lips look really, really nice. Thank you guys so much for watching and being here and testing out new makeup with me. I hope that this was helpful, a little informational, and I'll see you guys in my next video.